Hope you guys are still doing well. Hope everything is, I can't say get back to normal because it's not. I still got a mask in my pocket. But I hope that you all have been continuing to find some peace and just remember that nothing happens without God allowing it to happen. And everything God does is for good. Everything. Even if it might not seem like it, we have to remember God's timeline is much bigger than ours. And sometimes what is good for us isn't always what we want. There's a lot of different things you can say, but in all reality, it comes down to the same thing: that God loves you, He loves me, and He only wants the best for us. And nothing happens unless He lets it happen. So there's a lot more to that than that, especially when it gets into really bad things, like when people we love get sick or people we love die. But it's good to work on that understanding of suffering when things aren't too bad, because then they might help you when things are really bad. Because the pandemic stinks, and being locked up is no fun. And even now with things open-ish, it's still not great. But it is what it is, and we just have to remember that God loves us, and that we're supposed to walk with Jesus and be examples of His light. And the only other thing I wanted to say, just want to give a little bit of encouragement. We haven't talked in a while, and I was thinking over the weekend, Megan and I, how much time do I have? Gotta be quick. 20 minutes. Megan and I went to Mass over the weekend at a church. This light's really bright. Wrong way. Megan and I went to Mass on Sunday at a church we're working on this. We own a couple rental properties, and there's one of them's in Harford County, Maryland, where I used to live. It's my house. And so we're working on it because it's a rental. We got to get a new tenant in. Tenant moved out, whatever happens. So we decided to head over there Sunday, get a couple things organized and stuff. But we're going to Mass because we can. But the Mass that was made the most sense with our schedule was their 1 p.m. Mass, which was their Spanish-speaking Mass for their Hispanic community, or anybody who wants to come in, obviously. But it's a Spanish Mass for people who speak Spanish, and I don't. I know a little bit of Spanish from high school. I did take like 5 years between middle school and high school, so I understand a little bit. And I know Megan knows a little bit because she went to Mexico for a month when she was a teenager for like a church trip. But it was cool. But the point I'm getting to is, what was my point? The point I'm getting to is, so I'm in this church and they're live streaming it with just a little cell phone. Now that I don't know anything about this church, I don't know the financial situation, I don't know why. It's a nice, beautiful church, clean, well done. Like, it doesn't seem like it's falling apart. But all they were live streaming with was literally an unplugged iPhone on a stand. That was it. No microphone, no Ethernet cable, no computer. Literally, it was just somebody's cell phone on a stand. And at first you think, oh man, it's a shame they couldn't get anything better, and this and this and this and that. But what it made me think of was this: God never. I'm sure you've all heard this quote. God never puts you in a situation that you can't handle. Like, God's not going to put you through a hard time that you can't get through. Now, with the grace of God, by the grace of God and all that. But still, that's the thing. We've all heard that. God's not going to put you through something you can't survive, you can't get through and come out better for in the end. And that's true. We know that. We've heard that. We don't always remember that. But it's true. God doesn't. But I was thinking about technology, and I was thinking, God also, the whole world, for the most part, is experiencing or has experienced this pandemic. And I was thinking, God not only doesn't put us as individuals through something we're not ready for, don't have the ability to handle, He doesn't put the world through it, the whole world. And I was thinking about that in light of technology because, we're so used to live streaming now, we don't realize that this technology hasn't been around very long. My ability to just open up my laptop and press live and video broadcast to anybody who wants to watch. I can do it from my phone. Like, that's new. I mean, Facebook has been around for a while, but this live stream thing is recent, very recent. You know, now video conferencing and things like that has been around for quite a while, but you needed all this equipment. But like this wireless version, like I could be doing this video from my phone anywhere. And that technology hasn't been around that long. I mean, the first iPhone alone, the first iPhone came out, what, like 10, 12 years ago? That's it. But like live streaming, this ability we have to live stream, Google Hangouts, Google Meet, Zoom, all those things have only been around, available to all of us, like this Facebook Live, for not very long, a couple years maybe, if that. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? God could have put us or allowed us to go through this pandemic, this whole thing, anytime. But the crazy thing is like a lot of us have gotten through it because of the ability to stay connected. Not even just with church stuff, but like how many of you at some point of this were only talking to your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your family through video chat? Right? All this new like FaceTime on if you have an iPhone. That's all really new stuff. And that's just what I was thinking about in this Mass. I was just amazed that like if God put us through this or allowed us to go through this pandemic 5 years ago, we wouldn't be doing this video because this technology didn't exist unless I got a bunch of video conferencing stuff and you all phoned in, or it would be much more complicated. But the fact, that's what I was amazed with, that this little church in Harford County was able to stay connected to their parishioners the whole time, and all they needed to do it was somebody's cell phone. Now, it's not the best quality, it's not the best sound quality, but still, their parishioners were able to stay connected with their church to this whole thing because God put the world through this thing at a time when we have the technology to stay connected. We weren't lost. And I just was so fascinated by that in Mass because I was thinking, again, just 4 or 5 years ago, not even that, 2, 3 years ago we went through this pandemic. You wouldn't have been able to watch all the live streams from all the different churches. Some may have got something together, but it'd been way more advanced and way more expensive. But that church that I went to in Harford County, they would have had nothing. But God hooks us up. He takes care of us. God makes sure that we as individuals and as a society have what we need to get through anything. And even if all that is just technology being advanced enough so my little snowman phone can keep me connected to you guys, or can let me FaceTime my grandfather so I feel connected and they feel connected to me. And you know that you have a family and a church and people that love you. That's what I've been reflecting on. So I encourage you to do that too. So what I want you to do, if you can, this week, is just when you're praying, pray about that and think about that. Like, what ways has God prepared you for things that you've gone through? Think about the things you've gone through in your life that have been hard. And instead of just focusing on the fact that it was hard, pray and just think about, like, how did God prepare you for it? How are you prepared for that? And it's just a great exercise in just gratitude. Instead of thinking about, man, that time was really hard and it was bad and I went through this and this person was sick or this person died, I was so sad. Think about, how did you get through it? And be thankful. Because God loves you. And that's never going to change. Ever. So that's all I wanted to reflect on briefly. I was just blown away in this Mass. It's beautiful Mass, all in Spanish. The music was beautiful. It was so upbeat. I loved it. Megan loved it too. We're probably going back next weekend. And they were able to share that Mass with the whole world could have watched it. The whole world. Just because technology was ready. God made sure we had what we needed as a church and as a world to get through this pandemic and be better for it in the end. So don't forget that.